Hey, universe, Kapow, Liz Benny back here with the Happy Million Show. For those of you that don't know me, and what Kapow is, Kapow stands for connection, alignment, purpose, ownership, and wealth. And I'm here to assist you in building the ultimate wealth, which, by the way, is also the title of my book, which you can grab for free. The show notes will help you out with that. But for those of you that are ready for some impact and for some fun on this particular show today, let's get going. Today, I'm going to be talking about what most people don't actually know about what freedom actually feels like. And a lot of people want to build a life that feels free. And what I'm going to be talking about today is what people don't talk about when they talk about freedom. And it's what actually it feels like behind the scenes when you are alone. Now, a lot of people can profess to say, hey, I drive such and such a car. I live in such and such a neighborhood. I go on so many holidays. And people define success by a lot of what society will have you believe, whether it's, and a lot of that is where you live, how big is your house, how big is your car, how big is your dick, and all that sort of stuff. I define wealth a little bit differently. Well, certainly from a dick standpoint, because I don't have one, nor do I want one. But if we talk about it from a success standpoint, success to me is probably not a normal definition of success. Success to me is how peaceful am I when nobody else is around? As in, how peaceful do I feel about where I'm at in life, where I'm going, where I'm at in terms of my financial wealth, where I am in terms of my marriage connection, where I am in terms of my health, etc. So for me, I look at how a lot of people define success, and I know that there are a lot of people that are literally miserable. And miserable in their own company and without connection to maybe a substance or someone else to entertain them. And connection is important. Like, I'm not poo-pooing connection. Connection is part of our core values here in Kapow, right? You literally, like, connection to source, connection to spirit, connection to your customers, connection to your significant other, etc. So connection matters, and having a team of people around you, a community that support you in your journey is amazing, and it's part of our growth. It's how we're wired as humans. And if it's always needed in order to distract you from how you actually feel about yourself and your life and your circumstances and how you perceive your circumstances, then it's an entirely different reason for connection, so to speak. So I want to talk a little bit more here about success and how yummy it feels when you love yourself. How yummy it feels when you can be at peace with your financial wealth, even when you are not where maybe you wanted to be, or where you are capable of getting to, or where you are wanting to get to, for example. A lot of people are grumpy along the way. A lot of people hate the journey. A lot of people hate themselves in the journey. A lot of people are so hard on themselves, and when they are alone, all they're thinking about is work. All they're thinking about is, where's the next ad that I need to put up? What's the next product I need to create? What's the next problem that I need to solve? Where am I? Now, I'm not poo-pooing this. I'm like, heck, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm on a lot of the time in my brain. What I will say, though, is I removed my habitual putting myself down. That's one of the greatest successes that I've ever achieved, is ridding my life of self-hatred in the acts of keeping myself small, in the acts of not sending the email, and the acts of sending the email when I didn't want to send the email. But I wanted to be peaceful. Peace is such a beautiful emotion, such a beautiful experience. Yet a lot of my journey didn't feel like I struggled to be peaceful, because I was constantly on the mental hamster wheel of, what's the next thing? Where's the next ad? What's the next funnel I need to build? Where's the next thing that I need to join? And constantly problem solving, as if my ass was constantly on fire. And I remember becoming debt-free and buying my first house and like paying it off just like that. And, you know, it was uncanny. The bank manager didn't like us at all. He was like, what did you do? And our accountant was like, whatever you're doing, keep doing that. And, you know, but there was a period of time though where I was like, what do I do now? And I had to look at how I was operating in those moments of potential boredom, of potential chaos creation in absence of being okay with peace. Because at the end of the day, who we are in private matters. So if in private, for example, you're busy putting yourself down about how far you are from where you should be, and then thus, like, you know, using that energy to find a place or find the next answer for the next thing that you got to do, like, that's not very peaceful. Now, I'm not saying that that's necessarily the wrong thing to do, but I would also say here that there is a part of your spirit, part of your soul, part of you that perhaps might want to allow yourself to slow down, allow yourself some peace in your life, allow yourself to love yourself, allow yourself to reward yourself even just with kindness for how far you've made it, as opposed to putting yourself down for how far you are from where you want to be. Being grateful in the process and being kind to yourself in the process matters to me, right? And I'm not here to impose my belief systems upon anyone. I'm just inviting you to a different world where maybe, just maybe, it might feel lighter, might feel more yummy, might feel more abundant, might feel more like the way you actually want to feel. It's just that maybe you have conditioned yourself into a different way of being. And I just want to ask, like, maybe your ass isn't on fire. Maybe you're okay. Maybe you can have a day off. Maybe you can go to the spa. Maybe you can get that massage. Maybe you can go on that holiday. One of the most amazing things that I've seen in the Kapow community is where people finally go, fuck it. I'm done. I am done with living life the way that I was living life, and I was on a habitual hamster wheel, and I didn't even need to be on it. And I could have gotten myself off, but I didn't until I saw that I was living a destructive life. I've got a client who literally just fired all of her staff because she brought them on to help her create a business that she didn't even want to create or want to run or want to manage or want to lead. It wasn't for her in the way that it had been created, in the energy that it had been created, which was an energy of go, have to, should, must, as opposed to what would be fun, what would be amazing, what would be super impactful, where is the market that I can serve that is hungry for what it is that I can offer, right? It's amazing to watch people choose themselves over choosing the distraction of, I guess, disarray, destruction, disharmony, dis-ease. And a lot of people in private don't love themselves. And I can honestly say that I love myself. I adore who I am. I'm proud of who I've become, and I forgive myself for holding on to the parts that I was holding on to because I didn't feel safe to let them go. And I'm not fully enlightened. I'm not levitating in the seat right now. My bum is firmly planted on the seat. I've still got growth to do, but I can honestly say that I love myself, and I will do things for myself now more than I will do things that cost myself. In the past, I've sacrificed mornings, days, night, peace, happiness, harmony. I've done things that I thought I should that never went anywhere. I've built funnels because I thought I should, and I stayed up late, and I never launched them, or I might have launched them once, but I never loved myself enough to fully unleash and let it fly. because in private, I didn't know if I was worthy of it. I didn't know if I could do it. I didn't know if it would work. And in private, I would put myself down. I would look at myself through the lens of what I thought haters might look at me through, or I would look at myself through the lens of who do I think I am to do that, or I would look at myself through the lens of I'm not big enough for that. I don't have the capacity for that. I'm not strong enough for that. And I would even look at myself as a female and go, I can't do that because I'm female. Only men are successful. Now that's a massive wound that I've had to heal. Believe me, like that one for me goes right back to childhood, right back to knowing that I was not as, I guess, worthy to be a beneficiary of family stuff as the boys. I grew up on a farm and I was a girl on the farm. And it was an interesting environment to now look back on and go, a lot of my belief systems came from being a girl on the farm. Now, I'm very grateful for it as well. Like I can look at it and go, woe is me and all that sort of stuff. And it's up to me to recognize when I'm letting myself down and where in private I am letting my inner victim, my inner little Liz Benny, or little Elizabeth Benny, more to the point, where I'm letting her make the decisions of how far I get to go, how I get to show up, how far I'm allowed to travel. Because Liz Benny, the Queen of Kapow, she freaking knows. Elizabeth Benny is a different part of me who is the part of me that at times hasn't been very kind to myself. So I guess in that regard, that's actually something that I learned from my friend Todd Herman in the alter ego effect. That, you can at times create a part of you that is fully in belief of you and loves you in private and is the person who in private who is your biggest cheerleader. What would life be like if you are your biggest cheerleader instead of your biggest, most toxic talker? If you're the biggest, most toxic talker in your life, that's on you. And you get to change that. You get to choose to change that. I'm at the point now where I'm like, I know that if I put myself down, I sure as shit better catch that. Because those weeds can grow in the mind. And whatever you fertilize and whatever you continue to perpetuate and breathe into and think into, that's you creating your reality. And I just won't create a reality that sucks. Oh, I will do my darndest because I'm not perfect. I will do my darndest to catch myself and to, if I am sensing that I am resisting change or resisting a higher version of living, then I need to, in private, and maybe with a coach's help or someone's help, address the part of me that is scared. So this is me to say right now, success is an internal job at the end of the day. Your bank account will reflect at the end of the day how much you love yourself and how much you are willing to receive, period. The degree to which you are open to receiving love from yourself and others will be reflected in how, I guess, the gifts of the universe, whatever your belief system is, I choose to be very open to the fact that there are people who listen and watch this, who are Mormon, who are agnostic, who are atheist, who are spiritual. And, I want to make sure that whoever is listening gets what you need and want from this, irrespective of what your theological or spiritual belief systems are. I know that there is so much waiting, not even waiting, there is so much potential and possibility for you. And when you're in private, behind the scenes, away from the world, maybe sit and journal and understand who you are to you, the relationship between you and you. What are you saying? What are you thinking? What are you believing? What are you leaning into? What are you feeding yourself in your mind and in your body? Are you feeding yourself toxins, toxic thoughts and toxic food? Or are you consuming thoughts of pleasure and fun and love? The choice ultimately is yours, my friend. It really is. And I will say that, a lot of people that listen and watch this are entrepreneurs as well. And what I would say is that, I've helped people make millions and millions of bucks, and it's amazing. And I remember viscerally, giving two people around the same period of time a similar strategy. The strategy would work for both of them. Obviously, branding and messaging and all that sort of stuff would be different for them. But it was really interesting to me because one person would run and be like, yay, this is me, this is who I am, have little belief wobbles along the way. And the other person, literally, it was like the anchors from day dot. And this person over here that had the anchors on and couldn't get ahead and all that sort of stuff, their level of self-love was at an all-time low. The more successful person, and successful on paper, successful in impact, successful, in time off, etc., that person, she had a very high self-regard. Not arrogant, but just honest about, I know who I am. I know I've got things to offer the world. And she was so much more kind to herself than the other person. So this is me inviting you into a world of being loving and kind to yourself in private so that can bubble out more in public. I love you, I love you, I love you. You're amazing, you're incredible. I will see you in the next episode.